Well, let me get started here then, folks. Good afternoon. This is Matt Scherer, one of the board members of the Military Transition Network. With Dave Beall. Both Dave and I are both military retirees. We're going to talk a little bit about how to use LinkedIn as a reconnaissance tool. So I'm going to turn this over to you, Dave. We've got about 7 steps that you recommend.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Matt. It's good to be here. I'm sure everybody can see the slides. Do you still see me on video, or do you just see the slides?
No, we see you still. Well, yeah, we see you in a small little postage size thing off to the side, and the slides are kind of full screen.
Okay, well that's probably good seeing me little and seeing the slides big, because you don't need to see me during this whole presentation. So I'm going to go through a couple things on how to use LinkedIn as a strategy for your entire job search or your next career path, and how you're going to use that as kind of a reconnaissance tool. What's your guys' background, David? Are you guys prior military or just college, or where are you at?
I'm prior service, Marine Corps. I was back in the 90s, spent some time in beautiful places like Somalia. So, and now I'm actually the director for the Center for Veterans and Military Families here at Robert Morris University.
Okay.
Tim's one of our fantastic students. He wanted me to check this out, and so anything that helps the vets, I'm into. So Tim and I are checking out what you have to offer.
Okay, and Tim, what's your background?
So my background is I was in the U.S. Navy for 9 years. Did multiple deployments overseas, Middle East, South America, Caribbean, Asia. So I'm here at Robert Morris trying to get my education. I have a major in interactive design with a photography minor and web development, and also associates in IT.
Okay. All right. Well, some of this is going to sound familiar to you, both of you. And one thing that I equate this 7-step SOS, system of success process to, is BAMSIS, the 6 troop leading steps. If you never had heard that before, I'm sure David has. Tim, if you hadn't, unless you've been in the Marine or been with Marines in the FMF, you might have heard it before.
I have. Yep.
Yeah, I just had a flashback.
Yeah, I got a little flashback. Well, I'll go through a bit of it and show you how each one of the BAMSIS steps equates to the steps in the SOS process. It's just something I jotted down today, something a little bit new, especially if I was talking to a military audience about the steps. So without further ado, I want to get us going, if that's okay, man.
Yeah.
Please.
Okay. So I got a little background in the Marine Corps, 24 plus years, doing everything from basic radio operator to radio chief to reconnaissance, teaching at the reconnaissance school, then going on to MARSOC. And then after that, they put me in a couple different flying squadrons and a maintenance squadron on the air wing side. So I've got quite a breadth of knowledge in the entire FMF fleet force in the Marine Corps, plus spending a couple tours in Iraq and then doing embassy duty a couple times. And then I transitioned out after 24 plus years. And I realized when I transitioned out, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I thought it would be something completely different from what I did in the Marine Corps. And I started out with that and realized, no, I need to stick with what I know from the military service, and that's helping transition service members, helping any service member I can, and being a type of coach to as many people as I can. So that's what got me started down this path of helping folks with this tools and resources of LinkedIn and transitioning services and resources to get everybody on their correct path. Because me not knowing what I wanted to do in the military, or after the military, I'm sure there's a whole bunch of people out there that have the same issue. And that's the first thing you have to work on, is target your profile, your LinkedIn profile, and all your job searches to what it is you exactly want to do in the military. Because honestly, everybody thought, at my level, I was a sergeant major, that, hey, I'm a sergeant major, I'm E9, 24 plus years, got a degree, leader, who wouldn't want me? But that doesn't transition very well into a job category in the civilian world. And so everybody has to realize that you have to decide what that specific job role is that you want when you transition out. Transition out of the military, go from college to career, and transitioning out of school, saying, what is the exact job title I want associated with myself, or the career path I want to go down, whether that's a neuropsychologist, a project manager, or a help desk professional for an IT organization. You have to decide what that specific job title is. So with that, that comes up to step one, building a resume if you hadn't done so already. And that's step one in the BAMSIS process, begin the planning. What do you want to do with your career? And once you realize what that job title is, then you can start to arrange your LinkedIn profile and your searches based off of that job title. So your resume, I just wanted to point out two things for the resume. If you hadn't seen this before, I'm going to try and do this. And Matt, tell me if it doesn't work or not, okay?
I'm having somebody's having an access problem. I'm multitasking.
Awesome. Okay. So do you all see, did you see my screen change? And you see on the left side, or are you still seeing slides?
Still slides.
Still seeing slides. You need to hit the share button there, my friend. There you go.
Yep. I'll share this next one right now. This one. There we go. Now, can you see it in steps?
Yep.
Okay. So this is purepost.co. And that's on the slides, and you'll see it when I bring the slides back up. But this website is great for transitioning service members. It's free, and you have to create a profile, and I have in the past. So this is kind of like the start. Once you log in, create your profile. Up here in the top is all the menu buttons. And I'm just going to go to my profile real quick. And there's my profile. And on the left side here, you have all the basic info: military career, civilian career, skills, awards, certifications, education. It's kind of like getting into building your LinkedIn profile. But what I like to emphasize is once you build this first, it's going to help you transition some of what's in here into your LinkedIn profile, and also build a resume. And I just want to show you one quick example under the military career why this is a great tool for resume building, especially for military service members. You go into military career, and let's say you want to add a position. Now this one is tailored towards me as a sergeant major in the Marine Corps. And it's per service. So when you set up your profile, you got to add what service you were in, and then it's going to tailor specific items to your branch of service, like MOSs and job titles. So this one shows, I hit the purple button, add a position. It shows what I had set up in my profile what my MOS was and what I did in the Marine Corps. And then, you just add some dates, let's say March to 2015 here. The location, let's just put Miramar, California. Miramar, San Diego, California. The component, I was on active duty at the time. And now it goes down into 3 distinct things that are going to help you with your resume. This first one, the rank, you put in the rank. And the ranks are specific per what branch of service you put into your profile. The assignment type's next. And it gives this little drop down on show definition on assignment type. Was it a command leadership, staff leadership? It gives little examples of what those are. And so let's say, and what you decide to put in here, if it's command leadership, staff leadership, operational, instructional, it'll help in determining what goes in the next box. So let's say I put in command leadership. When I put command leadership in, the duty title, it has a drop-down box, and it only gives me one duty title, NCOA Commandant. Well, that wasn't me. So I need to figure out, maybe I was operational leadership. And here we go, it gives a bunch of different titles from the Marine Corps. And so I was a senior enlisted advisor to the senior level commander. This one I got highlighted right here. So that was me. So I select that, and then I hit save. Once it does that, it has come up with, hey, you're a special project leader, division operations. And this is what it came up with. It gave these 5 different bullets. It's all civilianized, and you can add bullets from a default list that are all down here, all civilianized bullets, and they let you put in the amount of employees or people you led, the amount of dollars that you worked with for that job title. So that works with every branch of service, and you just have to go through and kind of filter what job titles you have. And you can build. Go
Dave,
ahead.
I'm going to ask you a question here. So this is really a good place to get information that you can look at these various bullet points and see, well, I did this, I didn't do this. And then also, I'm going to make a point here that I also like to use first person language, like I had a strong, had project man, something like display a thorough understanding, something that's a little more hands-on than that, when you're doing your LinkedIn. But for the resume, this is perfect.
Right. So now you've got some of your military career defined as civilian, what civilians want to see in a resume. So you go through your entire military career and add these bullets and these different job titles throughout your career. And I went through my whole career, business unit director in a couple places, special project leader, division operations. That was me as a first sergeant. That's transitioned everything I've done in the Marine Corps into civilian talk. So then you can also add in civilian career. You can add a position, and you can put, you can make any bullet you want. You can type it all in if you want to. Your skills, you got skills here. All these skills, what's going to show up on your profile is the top 9 skills you put in here. You can put in many more. Like you see, I got a whole bunch, a whole list of skills. And you can move them up into this top 9. But all that's going to show on your profile and resume is everything above the skills displayed on your resume line. And then you got your awards, certifications, and education. So why is all this important? Well, when I go back to my profile, there's this button right here, click to export profile as a PDF resume. So I click on that. And when I open it, it comes out as a resume. Do you all see the resume?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. So that whole profile turned into this resume right here. And it's everything I did in the Marine Corps, but as a civilian. And I don't have to have everything on here. This is a pretty long resume. You can tailor this to however you want. It's a PDF document. You can copy and paste it into a Word document and tailor it how you want it to look. So now that I have all this, all my military stuff into civilian speak, I can go back into my LinkedIn profile and I can start adding all of that stuff to my summary and my experience. I can start copying and pasting that experience from my military service into LinkedIn, but it's in the civilian lingo that Pure Post had brought in for me. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yeah, absolutely, because I mean that is statistically the #1 barrier for veterans entering the civilian workforce is the failure to translate either written or verbally their military skills into what civilian employers are looking for.
Dave, go back down to your experience here. I want to show something here, okay? Notice how, go down to the military part. Notice how he says, as a project manager, I led and influenced subordinates. See how he's using active language there? That's more engaging than if you had your typical resume bullet points, okay?
Do you all see my LinkedIn profile?
You just highlighted it.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay. Good. So now you can create your LinkedIn profile, and there's a couple different ways you can tailor your LinkedIn profile. There's a couple different ways to build resumes. I've used Pure Post. I've used another one called myperfectresume.com. That one costs a little. I mean, it's real little. It's like $2 a month or $6 a month and $72 a year total. So it does a little bit. If you know the civilian title you want to go for, let's say project manager, it will build a resume and come up with all the bullets for you on a resume for a project manager that you can copy and paste and build a resume out of. So it's really civilianized. It's not necessarily military friendly, but it's really civilianized if you're having problems finding what bullets can I put on a resume for this job title that I'm going after. If it's a proposal writer or an IT specialist or a Cisco certified routing and switching employee. So when you're looking for those job titles, make sure that you have the right bullets for that job title in your resume. And it has to be really tailored down. You can see here on the right side, I got about 6 different resumes in here. By the time it's all said and done, and by the time you probably get a job, you may have 10 different versions of the same resume before you get hired on with any company. Okay, so that's just myperfectresume.com. So I just wanted to highlight those two before we moved on. Are there any questions on those resume builders?
I have a question, Dave. So in regards to the resume, now with that you covered with the cover letters, because most companies want a cover letter with your resume, maybe some samples of your work or something.
Some do, some don't. Sure. Right down here is cover letters.
Right.
You can see that.
Okay.
And there's a couple here. And this website, myperfectresume.com, helps you build those cover letters too.
Got you.
So you can just start up here where it says resumes,
Okay.
and do a brand new resume. And then right here's cover letters, my cover letters, auto cover letter, professional cover letter writing. But you're going to see here in a minute, or by the time we're done with this webinar, how you may not need a cover letter at all. Okay, and this is the process we're going to go through. So we started with step one, building out our resume and our LinkedIn profile and getting that all up to speed, correct?
Yep.
So now we're going to do, let's move on here to, you can also use a Google search. Here, the second bullet down on step one, to find different bullets for your resume. All right, in step two, or arranging reconnaissance in the BAMSIS process, arranging reconnaissance means setting up your profile and your resume. Good profiles, the all-star profiles include a professional photo. Professional photo. You shouldn't be in a car. Everybody can see your headrest and your seatbelt behind you when you're in a car doing a photo that way. It should have some type of professional outfit on, depending on what job role you're going for. I'm sure a physician would prefer to have his profile show that he's in his white lab coat and maybe a suit underneath that. And then a nurse practitioner may have their scrubs on. But for the majority of executives are going into a professional role in the workforce, a suit, collared shirt, and sweater or collared shirt and blazer is the best way to go. And having a professional photographer take your photo is usually the best way to have that.
Hey Dave, let me take over the screen for a second. I've got an example of a really good photo. Okay. Yes. Here's a good example, Exhibit A. Do you see Rob Smith's photo there?
Yes.
That's $69 at your local J.C. Penney's. You know, haircut, shave, and all that. So that's one example. Here's another good example. Do you see? That's what we're looking for there. Okay.
Yeah.
I could show you a lot of other classic photos, but that's important that you see that, guys. Okay.
Absolutely.
Hang on a second. I'm going to give this back to you, Dave.
Okay.
So are you presuming that the background should be like a plain background with like the person or you in like a professional manner of a suit, attire, blazer, whatnot, correct?
Yep.
That's right, and that's also depending on the job you're going for. Now, what my professional photographer, she got a little artistic with me, and she said, "Oh, let's put you against a brick wall background to show that that's strength and all that." And I don't think anybody ever thinks that when they look at my profile, like, "Oh, he's a strong person. He's got a brick wall behind him." But it turned out to be a good picture anyway, so that's what I used. And I've used that everywhere.
It is a very handy tool. I mean, I literally just had a meeting yesterday with someone, and we literally connected over LinkedIn because we were going to meet downtown, and that way we knew what each other looked like. You know,
Exactly.
It's that when you're trying to meet someone at Starbucks with 50 people in there, you know who you're looking for.
Right.
Exactly. That's the purpose of that. Okay, Dave's got it back.
Okay. So, yeah, it's a great tool to use to look at those pictures sometimes before you see people and then realize that's not the person I thought it was going to be when you finally meet them face to face. So it's helped me a bunch of times being introduced to people. Headline with an accurate job title. You can see a lot of people. Nobody's ever going to come up with a search of transitioning service member in the job title. In the separation classes in the military, you'll hear them say in your headline you should put transitioning service member or transitioning leader. but you have to put yourself in a recruiter's shoes. And in a recruiter's shoes or a hiring manager's shoes, the job title they're not putting into the search is transitioning leader or transitioning service member. So always remember that you need a specific job title in your headline, and maybe a certification or two in there if it'll fit. And then your summary with keywords. Now I'm going to transition here into my profile real quick so I can give you an idea of what this looks like.
You know, just a pause here. And so accurate job title for someone like Tim, who's looking, so they have a degree, but they're looking to be, let's say he's looking to be a photographer, but yet maybe not one yet. But look as, you know, and what should he do there? So someone who is transitioning, do they put the job title they want in there and just say searching for?
Yes. No, they put the job title they're going for. Because right now, like on my job title right here, project management professional. That's the role I want to go through. But is it where I'm currently working? No. I'm not in a job role right now as a project management professional. But you know what this does? I'll tell you, when a recruiter is looking through LinkedIn, and it's the #1 search tool for recruiters and hiring managers, they've gotten a job order from a company or organization, and that's what recruiters get, is job orders for a specific job title.
Okay.
And so the first thing they're going to put in their search on the recruiter side of LinkedIn is that job title. And they may use a little bit of Boolean search, like project management professional, or, and in parentheses, put PMP or project manager. You know, they'll do those couple Boolean searches because they're experienced in saying, okay, I know I need to find a project management professional, but if I only put in that title, it may only come up with a few results of those folks that have that in their headline. So you have to remember, think about it from the shoes of a recruiter or a hiring manager and what their search terms are going to be, because this is your kind of version of SEO for them, is how you're setting up your profile. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. And we all know, I learned this from a great guy one day that showed how to get this portion, project management professional, he called it the secret headline, into your job or into your name headline. Do you all know how to do that?
Yes.
Okay. All right. And then down here, I also have project manager, IDLE version 2011 as a certification, Six Sigma Green Belt's a certification. But then here at the end is probably the most important title, veteran. And so they see all these different certifications and job titles that you have, but I always like to end it with veteran as the last one. So that helps with the job title. Now in the summary portion, what I was going to get to here is you see the first 3 lines of the summary. What you don't see is everything else. And what hiring managers and recruiters will see is these first 3 lines also, until they hit the show more button. And when you do the show more, you can see down here at the bottom, I've hit enter, like when I did the edit, I hit enter like 4 times. Then I came down here and I put keywords. You can put keywords, key skills, but everything related with project management. And
Dave, I'm going to jump in here for a second. One of the things that you need to also understand is when you look at one of these little mobile devices,
right.
the first 15 to 18 words are really key to that, because that's all they're going to see, you know.
Exactly.
So Dave's right. When you look at a computer, you're going to see those first 3 lines. But when you're looking at a mobile, so really to me, that, as today's point's got that resourceful project manager, that's key. That explains exactly what he's all about. So staffing guy says, oh, I know you need to talk to Dave Beall. Okay, I look up Dave Beall, boom, 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 there it is. I can see that. I'm going to go in more depth that way. So just be aware that there's a 15 to 18 word window on that summary as well.
And then when you've got these keywords or key skills down here, you've also SEO'd your profile for recruiters and hiring managers to show up on their results higher on the list in their pages of results that come up when a recruiter is doing a search for the specific job title that they've gotten the job order for. Now, when you do this and you've got it set up this way, you've got everything else you can put down here. You've heard about the experience. You've probably read about how to do the experience many different ways. It's up to you. What I like to do is summaries. I don't like it all bulletized with 4 or 5 different bullets per, but that's up to the different people that you talk to. I say this way. Matt may say a different thing.
No, Matt's in agreement with you there, Dave. That's the only way, because again, you're having a conversation with people.
Exactly.
They want to get the resume. They want to get the rest of your story, then you can send them the resume. It's like enough to get them talking. Okay.
What you're trying to do.
Doing that.
Yeah. What you're trying to do is entice them just a little bit more with what your experience is. So they want to know more. They want to hear more. With your resume, there's always 2 different sounds that a person's going to say when they look at your resume right away. They're either going to say, when they look at your resume, that one sound, which means I want to know more, or they're going to say, That second sound means they're not going to pay much attention to your resume. And so if it's a clean, good-looking resume and they want to know more, they'll always have that first sound. And that's what you want to hear from folks looking at your resume and your LinkedIn profile. All right, so now you've gotten this, how to set up your LinkedIn profile. I'm going to go back to the slides here to get it to that all-star status. Summary with keywords, experience in the summary in paragraph form. So step 3, making reconnaissance. We know that it's all intel, right? When we do reconnaissance for the battlefield commander, we are gathering intel to find out, to give back to that battlefield commander so they can make decisions on how to continue on with the mission. So how does that equate to your process of looking for jobs for your next career? So now you're going to make reconnaissance in the BAMSIS troop leading steps, right? You're going to go through and do a job search and connections. Okay, and this is step 3 in the SOS process, system of success. And this is the template you're going to use for connecting. But before we get to the connections, I want to show you real quick how the job search is. Can everybody see my Google? Oh, no, not yet. Hold on one second. I'll get it. There we go. All right, there we are. Now everybody can see that I got Google pulled up.
Got it.
Okay. So when you do a Google search for a job, you can use Indeed, you can use Monster. I like to use Google, first of all. When I go to Google, I'll do, let's say, project manager jobs in San Antonio. Here it comes up right here. You notice this blue bar right here? Do y'all see the blue bar here that says jobs near San Antonio, Texas?
Yes.
That's Google's job search engine. So you just click on this blue bar and it comes up. It's a different way of looking at Google, and it's all the jobs for project manager in the San Antonio area. And so you can look through this and search for jobs, because all of these websites are Google Jobs, Monster, and Indeed or Glassdoor. All those job search engines are doing is scraping from the career sections of company websites the different jobs that they have on there, and they're posting them again on their website or on their specific website, whether it's Indeed, Monster, or Google Jobs. And LinkedIn Jobs does the same thing. So when you look at this, you're looking for different jobs, and you're looking for specific ones to the role you want to apply for. And you're going to cross-reference this. And so we've got a job, an IT project manager right here at Apex Systems. This one's been up for a day, and it's a contractor job. What I'd like to do is go over to LinkedIn and see if this same job comes up. Because if you apply from this website right here, from the Google website, you can apply on Career Builder, apply on LinkedIn, apply on International Association of Women. You can apply on all of these websites, but you're going to be at the back of the line. You're going to be at the back of the wolf pack. And you want to be at the front of the wolf pack. And that's where I'm trying to get you all, is in front of those recruiters, in front of those hiring managers, before anybody else or ahead of anybody else. And this is the start of that process, is by searching for the specific job role. But never, ever go to, like, apply on LinkedIn, apply on Career Builder. If you apply on the company's website, this is Apex Systems, if you apply on the website, it does get you a little bit more ahead of the wolf pack, but it doesn't get you in the front door or in the back door. What I'm trying to get you to is through the back door and right in front of that hiring manager or that recruiter. Does that make sense? Okay, so I've got an IT project manager at Apex Systems in the San Antonio, Texas area. That looks pretty good. So now I want to go to my LinkedIn profile. And when I go here, I'm going to go to jobs. Everybody sees I'm in LinkedIn, right?
Yep.
Okay, good. And I'm going to search for a project manager. And here's all the project managers. And I can try and put in Apex specifically to find that in the search results and apply that filter. And no matches came up. So I'll cancel that and see if I can find it by going down. And the only point I'm trying to make here is when you look at a job description, you're looking for the person that posted that job. And large companies won't have the person on there, but I'll show you how to get to that in a minute. But if we start looking down this line in the LinkedIn jobs for project manager, you're going to start to find somebody that posted the job. Okay. And what I try and stay away from is the promoted jobs that you see at the top here, because they just paid to be at the top. I'm looking for, there's a lot in the Pittsburgh area.
Yeah, but these guys are from Pittsburgh. That's why we did that, remember?
Oh, okay. So we'll continue to look in the Pittsburgh area. Let's see if we can find a project manager with somebody that's in. There's a contractual role, Aspinwall, Pennsylvania. Okay, nope, not yet. We'll find one here in a minute. That's right. And Robert Half, if you know, they're a staffing company. So you kind of want to try and look for specific companies. Okay, here we go. Here's a technology project and cost manager, and the job description was posted by Carol Folsom. She's a talent acquisition strategist. So now you got somebody here, you've got a person that you can connect with. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to find her on LinkedIn. So let's go find Carol Folsom on LinkedIn. I'm just going to copy her name. I'm going to go to the home page, search for people. Carol Folsom, and there she is. She's a talent acquisition strategist in New Hampshire, and she's for that job title. Let's go back real quick. See if I can find it. For Arcadia. She's looking for a technology project and cost manager for Arcadia. So if that job title fits you, then I want to save this job so I can reference it in the future. Then I'm going to go back and I'm going to try and connect with her. There she is. Now she's a third connection. That doesn't mean you can't connect with them. You just have to hit these 3 dots and hit the connect button. And you always want to add a note when you're connecting with someone. And you saw in the slides, and I can go back to the slides real quick, but I'll just type it in here. It's in the slides for you too. The personal note, I always use the same personal note. And that personal note is their first name. And then I put, it's always great connecting with, she's a talent acquisition strategist. So I put with professional talent acquisition, that's a big word, strategist. And she's in the New Hampshire area. So I'm going to put in the Londonderry, New Hampshire area. And then I put let's connect. And I always put an exclamation point, and I only put my first name at the end of that. And I send that invitation. And I know probably by the time we're done with this webinar, he's not going to come back through until later today. But you want to find, you can do this in about an hour, finding project management or whatever job title you're going for. Just keep searching through those companies that may have somebody that has a job title or has posted the job here on LinkedIn. You're looking for those people. And sometimes they're at the top, and sometimes they're at the bottom of the posting. So you just have to keep searching through and looking for those people. Now, if you don't find the people, like here's another one posted by Jeffrey Brooks, and it's for a water project manager in Moon, Pennsylvania. So I would do the same thing and try and connect with him.
It's like literally at the end of our street.
Well, there you go. See, you can, if you're looking for a project management job, there you go, Jeffrey Brooks. He's the senior corporate recruiter at Michael Baker International. And they're looking for a water project manager. So there you go. So when you, the other thing that you can do, let's find a company here that, okay, I don't see a job poster on this job poster.
Can I jump in here for a second, Dave? Let's change that up from project manager to public relations, because I know Tim is studying to be a public relations person. Let's do public relations.
Thanks, man.
Some promoted at the top, strategic communications manager. Would that work for you, Tim?
Yes, sir. That worked. Thank you.
Okay, so this company is confidential. So this one isn't going to help it. But let's see, RSI International. So you see here that they didn't put the job poster here. And I'm looking through the whole posting. I don't see who posted it, but I know the company, RSI International. And this for a public relations communications assistant entry level. So I'm going to go to this company's website. Okay. And this is the second way you can find a connection at the company you're targeting. So I clicked on the company's website. They're a recruiting service. They got 16 employees on LinkedIn. Right here. Do you see where I'm looking at right here on the right side?
Yep. Yeah, we see it.
Okay, you click on that. You may not want to connect with the CEO, but as you're looking down, that's Thailand, Hong Kong, Savannah, Georgia. You're looking for the Pittsburgh area. There's North Carolina at the bottom. There's 2 pages here. Dallas, Fort Worth, and Las Vegas. So nobody on their LinkedIn is in the area that you're looking at.
Yeah, the CEO is probably the closest one to us.
Why don't we take a look at it real quick, just
Yeah.
as we can.
So we can look at her real quick. Lindsay Spinks. So remember the website. Go ahead. Okay, so RSI International, remember it's a recruiting site. And so you do have a connection here. Since she's a third connection, you're gonna have to hit the 3 dots and connect. Add the note and put in exactly the same thing again. Hi, Lindsay. I'm not gonna send this one off, but I'll put it in again. It's always great connecting with professional. Well, I wouldn't have to put professional CEO. Connecting with CEOs in the Cleveland area. Let's connect that exclamation point and then my name or your name. Then you send it.
Yeah.
When they come back to you, I get about a 97% return response rate off of sending that personal message every time. Okay, so it's imperative to send that personal message if you want to get that connection. You're going to have better results always sending a message.
Dave, can we, Victor has asked if we could do something like on organizational change or project management in San Antonio. Can we do that one more time through the job search thing?
Sure.
Thank you.
So, project management and the area we're looking at is San Antonio.
San Antonio, yes.
Okay, San Antonio, Texas area. So here's a couple promoteds at the top. Here's a project manager at Oracle. That was posted 23 hours ago. I've got a connection there. There's no job poster here. They didn't put them there. But let's see if we go down. Now this is one here at 360, a project manager. Here's the job poster, Kristen Fox. And this is one I went after. I sent the connection, I got a response, and then I moved on to the next step. And she responded to me. She connected with me, and the first thing I saw is that she viewed my profile. And I'll go up here into my connections just to show you all. And here's all my connections. And you'll see down here, Kristen Fox at one time. It was a couple weeks ago, so she's down here. I could probably do a search for her. I'll probably find her pretty quick. She stands out pretty good. Oh, these people connected with, there she is. She's right here. We connected 3 weeks ago. Okay. And the first thing she did was look at my profile to see who I was. Why did I send a connection to her? So you always want to make sure your profile's set up before you start sending out these connections. So let me do this again. Project manager, San Antonio, Texas area. There's that Apex one at the top. It's promoted one. Art Garcia's there, Matt.
Yeah, go Art.
So there she is. So Kristen Fox, she's there. And so I moved on to the, so let's say you're making connections. What you have to remember with connections, and the point I want to get across is they always have to be personal when you're sending an invitation to connect with somebody. And you always want to follow up with those connections. And remember that at this point in the 6 troop leading step process, you're making reconnaissance. You're sending out those invites. You're getting responses back from folks. You've saved those jobs you wanted to return back to. And you're going to find those jobs in that job thing, or you're going to find them in here. Where did I put it? The saved jobs. And all, oh, I'm sorry. Let's see, where did my jobs go? Let me do that again. You're gonna find your saved jobs here somewhere. I can't remember off the top of my head. Huh. Maybe it's under my profile. Anyway, you're gonna save those jobs, and you're gonna, I'll just save one here and we'll see where it comes up at. Huh. That's filters. Anyway, there's a, so you have something to reference back to, because if you don't save the jobs and you're trying to figure out where those jobs are, what job you posted and you got a response back from a connection and you said, wait a minute, why did I connect with this person? What job were they posting out there? And if you didn't save it, you can't reference back to it. So you've got to save the jobs. And then after you've gotten a response, let's say you've gotten a response back from one of the job posters. At this point, you have to follow up with that person. And how you're going to follow up is by sending them a message, just one more message like I have. And in my network, let's see if I can find somebody. I'll find Kristen Fox down here. Look for Kristen Fox. And we've got our messages here. See, here's that first connection message. Hi, Kristen. It's great connecting with professional HR managers in the San Antonio area. Let's connect. And that was on March 21st. That was at 2:07 p.m. And then it says, now Kristen's now a connection. Then at 2:24 p.m., I said, Kristen, thank you for accepting my invitation. Please let me know if there's anything I can do for you. All right. So that was my follow through with Kristen. She doesn't know what I want from her yet. And this is where we get back into the PowerPoint presentation, into the next step. You can connect with as many people as you want on your connections. What you're trying to do is make it a little bit strategic, connect with those job posters, and then canvas your city that you want to move to or that you're going to work in for all the recruiters in the job field or career field that you're getting into, and HR managers that are in those job fields or career fields that you want to get into also. You want to connect and canvas that entire city. You want to make sure in your LinkedIn profile, the zip code you have in there is within a 25-mile radius of the area you want to work in. Or if you're in a very large city, like San Antonio is a big city, if I don't put a central zip code, the 25-mile radius, which is the standard default radius for hiring managers and recruiters on the recruiter side of LinkedIn, that 25-mile radius may not get to all the areas I want to work in. Or it may overlap some areas I want to work in. So if I don't put it central, if I put my home's zip code, that zip code might put me out into another city that I don't want to be in. So you want to make sure that your zip code that you're putting in LinkedIn is for the area you want to get hired in, especially if you're moving states. If I'm here in San Antonio and I want to move back to my hometown of Las Vegas, then I would put in a zip code in Las Vegas in my LinkedIn profile, because the recruiters are going to search for people that are local first, so they don't have to pay for somebody to join a company. So if they're trying to save money, they're not going to try and pay for you. But connect with as many, connect strategically by canvassing, by connecting with hiring managers, by connecting with recruiters, by connecting with those job posters, connecting with groups, and connecting with companies also. Companies you may want to work at, connecting with groups you want to follow through hashtags, and connecting with companies that interest you, especially if it's in the profession that you want to get into. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So now we've made reconnaissance. We've done a job search. We've connected with a job poster, and we've made a lot of connections. We're trying to get over that 500 connection mark. Now we're moving on to step 4. Well, we've done step 4 already. We've cross-referenced the jobs. Whoops, let me go back one. We've cross-referenced the job postings with those on LinkedIn, found the job poster. We've connected the job with the job poster to get their email address. That's what you're trying to do, because when you get a connection on LinkedIn, now you have an email address. And after that connection's accepted, make sure you thank them for the connection. Okay? So now you have an email address from that job poster. And this is where you're going into complete the planning and the 6 troop leading steps, right? Which is following up with the connection. You've done that. And now issue the order, right? Is the I in BAMSIS, which is sending your email campaign. And that's the next step here. Start the email campaign. Send an email to the job poster on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, or every other day for 3 days. And usually it's easier just to track it doing a Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And a note to everybody, do not send more than 3. If there are no responses after 3 attempts, move on, okay? Because it's not good for you to linger on that one job posting that you knew was going to be your dream job and you never got a response from somebody. It's just time to move on. And it's not good to keep filling up a hiring manager, a recruiter, a job poster's inbox with email after email after email, trying to get that one job that you always want, because they're going to get tired of you and they're going to block you from sending them emails in the future. Does that make sense?
It does.
And we're going to get into how we do this email campaign. All right, I'm not done with this email campaign yet. We're sending this email campaign. So now you've made that connection with that job poster, okay? And I'm going to go back here to my other page here. So the job poster that I connected with was Kristen Fox. I'm just going to use this as an example. I'm going to go to my email here real quick, because I want to show you guys how this email campaign went. And I'll look for Kristen Fox here. So let me go back to LinkedIn real quick. When I go to, so now that you've made the connection, you can see their contact info. Right here on the right side, it always says after your first connection, you got the contact info, and there's their email address right there. And that's what you're targeting. That's what you're looking for in your intel gathering, in your reconnaissance, is that email address, because that's golden. So now I got her email address, and I wanted to send her an email after I've done the follow-up with her, thanking her for the connection. So in the email, I put this: Kristen, good afternoon. Once again, thank you for accepting my invitation on LinkedIn. I said once again because I had already thanked her in the in LinkedIn through the messaging. I'm a project manager professional living in San Antonio area. Here's a quick snapshot of myself: Marine Corps veteran, 4,500 hours conducting PMP, and certified in Microsoft Excel, Six Sigma, and project management. And those I put pending because my certifications aren't finalized yet, because that takes a bit of time. And then the second paragraph in this template is I'm proficient with the project management process from creating a charter all the way through closing out the process of the project. Just some of my skill sets that I have. Then I put, I understand your company may be looking for someone with my skill sets. Please let me know if you're interested. My contact info is below. And here's all my contact info. That's it. When you go to the slides here, real quick, here's the template. Use this email template. Their name, thanks for connecting with me on LinkedIn. Here's a little bit about myself. And you put in your profession and a couple of your top skills. I help companies and organizations do this. List some of your accomplishments. I wouldn't put more than 3. I'm certified in this, this, and this. Once again, using that rule of 3. And I understand you're looking for someone like me. Please let me know if I can add value to your company name or to the company. You know, and her company was 360 Security Services. And then my contact info is below. I sent that exact email template to her on March 21st. Now, here's what transpired in those couple days. So that was March 21st right there. On March 21st, she sent right back within about let's see, it's 2:30, yeah, less than an hour. She sent back, thanks for sending this email. If you're interested in our program manager position, I was going for a project manager position, and she put in program manager position. You may submit your application resume using the link below. Now you have to understand something, that recruiters and hiring managers and job posters are always going to refer you to the job posting site to put in your application. That's a law. They have to do that. They have to have your application on file. But what did I just do? I just got my name and a picture of me too, my photo, in front of the job poster for this specific job role.
So you're in the front of the whoop back now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm in the front. I've gone in through the back door, utilizing a connection and an email address. And that's what LinkedIn is supposed to be used for. That's what LinkedIn was always supposed to be used for, is making those connections to help folks get into a job role or a new career through their connections. And so everybody that has these job posting roles, hiring manager roles, recruiter roles, know that this is the process that should be utilized. Now, in that template, that email template, did I attach a resume? Did anybody see me attach a resume?
No?
Nope.
You don't attach a resume. Never send a resume unless they ask for it. So moving on with what I did with Kristen, I did the application process. I'd done it already, honestly. And by 3:30 p.m. on that same day, March 21st, I sent her another email. I said, Kristen, thank you for responding so quickly to me. I've submitted the application. Please let me know if you need anything else. And that was it. So you do this email. If you don't get a response after you sent this first email on Monday, on Wednesday, you send the same email again, but you're only going to change one little thing. You're going to say the person's name, good afternoon, and then say, this is my second email to you, instead of thank you for accepting my LinkedIn invitation. Just put this is my second email to you. Once again, I'm a project management professional living in this area. Here's a quick snapshot of myself. And you just reiterate all the same stuff. And that template's in the slides also. We'll get back to that. But you send that on Wednesday. If you don't get any response, then on Friday you send that final email, but what you're going to change in the subject line is, this is my last email to you. And that's how you're going to start out. You're going to say the person's name. You say, this is my last email to you. Because just like we said before, you do not want to fill up their inbox trying to get that dream job. They need to move on. You need to move on. They've probably looked at your profile and said either he's not a good fit, or they may just not have had the time and been buried in emails. But a lot of the time when you put in there, this is my last email to you, they at least respond with good, or, oh wait, send me your stuff, or please apply online, and then contact us after you've applied. Does that make sense?
Dave, this has been really good, my friend. This has been very helpful. I'm going to make sure, since we're coming up to an hour, or over an hour, I'm going to send your slides to everybody that has participated.
Yeah.
And any questions, guys?
No, thank you. That's been real helpful. I do actually have one question.
Sure.
When putting this is my second email, does that give a bad perception, or to the recipient?
Not at all. They may have just forgotten that you sent them an email because they got buried in emails, like we all do at times. Or they may have not seen it because, once again, they got buried in emails. And they're appreciative that you're following up with them at least.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. And down here in the notes, it says, if no response by Wednesday, send an email again. If no response by Friday, add at the top of the email, this is my last email to you. Never attach the resume, only use PDF file format for resumes. Don't use Microsoft Word, because you don't want anybody trying to manipulate your resume and putting things in there that you're not certified in or know how to do. And then you just repeat steps 3 through 5 and wait for responses, rinse, lather, repeat. And that's the supervise in BAMSys. You're just waiting for those responses to come back to you. And that leads to other things. And I'll show you what that leads to real quick on that email that I sent. So I got a response from Kristen right away on that first day. So I did everything she asked of me, but I didn't hear from her for about a week. March 21st was all our conversations. On March 28th, I sent her an email. 7 days later, I said, Kristen, good afternoon. Just following up on our conversation from last week. Did you need anything else from me? And what it led to, if you look back in all of the searched emails for Kristen Fox, it led to a Zoom meeting for an interview that I did with the company, a phone interview, and that was done April 4th. So that was it's for April 8th was the meeting date. So that was last week. And they told me they had other candidates to interview, and if they wanted to do a walk-in interview with me, they would contact me this week. So I haven't heard from them yet, and it may be 1 or 2 weeks before I hear from them, and they'll send me either you're not the guy or maybe you are the guy. But this whole process is how you use LinkedIn to get in the front of the line, to get in that door, to get yourself in front of those job posters, hiring managers, and recruiters ahead of everybody else, using the 7-step system of success process, or BAMSIS, or whatever you want to call it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes, it does. I have a question for you, Dave.
Sure.
So at that point, you didn't even send her your resume yet, did you? Or you did?
No.
No, wow.
No, never sent her a resume. She did look at my LinkedIn profile, though.
Okay. Yeah, probably. That's probably how she got.
Well, but you also applied through their official company system, which then provided them with all the actual information they need.
Correct. And at that point, I did have my resume attached to the application.
So you sent it, but through the official channels. Not
Correct.
backdoor.
It was through the correct channels and not just under the table. Now, I'll tell you that 7-step process that I did on one day, because I always try and do this process to make sure it's relevant before I teach it. That day I was doing it, I connected with 5 job posters, and 2 of them responded to me that day. One of them was Kristen Fox, and the other one was a gentleman that called me because I had my contact info. He called me right away and said, send me your resume because we want somebody like you, and I'm going to talk to my manager about your resume. But many times you'll see that the job posting isn't the job they're looking for. Kristen Fox, I looked at the job posting for a project manager. She said apply to the program manager position. This other guy, I looked at their project management posting, and he called me and said, we're looking for a proposal writer. I was like, okay, let me put a resume together for a proposal writer, and I'll get it right over to you. And I did it, and he was interested in it because he was a Marine also, and so he called me back a couple of days later. I'd never been a proposal writer, but there are some alignments between a proposal writer and a sergeant major, so I tried the best I could. And he contacted me a couple days later and said, hey, we're looking for a proposal writer that can hit the ground running, that knows how to write proposals specifically. And I was like, oh, okay. But once again, I got my name and my resume in front of the folks that put out that posting, and they sat down with their hiring managers to see if I was the correct fit, rather than going through Indeed.com or through LinkedIn Job, just trying to hit that one-click apply or the quick apply or just applying on the website. People know who you are now, and you're in front of them. And that's what this whole process is about.